Darth Sidious hired his royal guard like this. Chapter 1. The Seed of Empire. In the year 32 before the Battle of Yavin, Coruscant was abuzz with news of the election of a new Supreme Chancellor. The setting sun turned the skyscrapers crimson as Palpatine, newly invested with the power of the Galactic Republic, looked out over the city from his office in the Senate building. His pale fingers drummed on the polished ebony desk.
Bring in Captain Dax.
The doors slid open with a hiss, revealing the imposing figure of the captain of the Senate Guard.
Captain, your punctuality is commendable.
Duty calls. Supreme Chancellor.
Do you know why I have summoned you?
Security reports for the last quarter, I presume.
Precisely. Tell me, how many years have you been in command of the Guard?
15 years, sir.
15 years of watching Senate security deteriorate. 15 years of watching protocols become obsolete.
The captain shifted uncomfortably, his boots crunching against the polished floor.
Current procedures were designed to...
For a more civilized age, is it not? But times change, Captain. The galaxy grows more dangerous.
Palpatine stood up, walking over to the window. The twilight cast his shadow, long and menacing, across the floor.
How many attacks have our senators suffered in the last month?
7 confirmed attempts, sir. 3 of them newly successful.
And how many infiltrators have penetrated our defenses?
Reports suggest at least a dozen.
A dozen that we know of. How many more have gone unnoticed?
The heavy silence that followed was interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps. The Jedi Master Ronha Kim appeared in the doorway, her serene presence contrasting with the tension in the air.
Foreign Minister, please forgive the intrusion.
Master Kim, your presence is always welcome. Indeed, you come at a very opportune time.
His Jedi reflexes kicked in before his conscious mind.
Get down!
JD's green lightsaber roared to life, deflecting a flurry of gunfire as Captain Dax launched himself at the Chancellor.
By the Force, do you see now, Master Kim? This is precisely what I spoke of.
A week later, in the main chamber of the Senate, murmurs of concern filled the air.
Order in the chamber. The Supreme Chancellor has the floor.
Honorable representatives of the Republic, recent events have made our vulnerability clear.
2 attempts on my person, an assassination attempt against the esteemed Senator Darth.
Shame! Current security is a joke.
Jedi Master Kim witnessed one of these attacks firsthand. Master, would you share your experience with the Senate?
Ronha Kim walked to the center of the room, his expression grave.
The security lapses are glaring and concerning. As a Jedi, I can attest to the gravity of the situation.
I therefore propose the creation of a special unit, a royal guard trained in the highest arts of combat and protection, an elite force dedicated to safeguarding the most sacred institutions of our republic.
And who would oversee this? Royal Guard?
I would report directly to the Supreme Chancellor, of course, to ensure maximum efficiency and discretion.
The cheers began in the upper stands and spread like a wave throughout the chamber. Palpatine remained impassive, though his eyes glittered with a barely contained gleam of triumph.
The vote is now on.
The security of the Republic must be our absolute priority. This Royal Guard will be the symbol of our resolve, of our strength. I promise you, my dear friends, under its protection, we will usher in a new era of peace and security.
Thunderous applause drowned out the few voices of dissent. On his floating platform, Palpatine smiled. Everything was going according to plan. Chapter 2. The Forging of the Royal Guard. In the late year 32 before the Battle of Yavin, newly appointed Supreme Chancellor Palpatine wasted no time in executing the next phase of his plan. The moon of Yinka, a desolate world in the mid-rim, became the perfect setting in which to forge his personal guard. Its vast rocky plains, buffeted by relentless winds, now concealed a fortified complex far from prying eyes.
The Senate's vote has been clear. The Republic needs an elite force to protect it, and you, the finest warriors of each system, will be that force.
120 recruits. Stand firm. You have been selected from among millions. Your records are impeccable, your exploits legendary, but you are worthless here.
How long will the training last?
Until I say so, or until you die, whichever comes first.
The icy wind whistled through the rock formations as the recruits stood motionless in the pouring rain. Their soaked uniforms clung to their bodies like a second skin.
The Naboo Sun Guard was legendary for its dedication and mastery in combat. But you will be something more. You will become the embodiment of power.
To the training camp. Now!
Sir, no protective gear?
Protection. The best protection is not letting yourself get hit, you piece of bantha.
The recruits ran through the rain toward a circle marked with volcanic stones. The mud stuck to their boots, making each step heavier than the last.
Behold your new dance partner.
A battle droid stepped forward, carrying a force pike. Its energy blade pulsed with a crimson glow that cut through the gloom of Yinkor's perpetual dusk.
This beauty can cut through Durasteel like it's butter. One brush and you'll lose a limb.
One direct hit.
And we will die.
Brilliant deduction, genius. First round of combat. Recruits 47 and 89 into the circle. Now!
But we don't know how to handle them yet.
The true warrior learns or dies. There is no middle ground.
The pikes clashed violently. Blue and red sparks danced in the air like deadly fireflies.
This is crazy. We're partners.
Loyalty to the Republic comes before any personal ties.
The pike pierced Recruit 89's thigh. The smell of burning flesh mixed with the ozone of the storm.
There.
Great. Next pair. Move those asses.
What if we refuse?
Then you will have betrayed the trust the Republic has placed in you. And betrayal comes with a price.
Days melted into weeks. The combat circle became an altar of sacrifice, where weakness was cleansed with blood and pain.
Tactical defensive delta formation. Move those legs like you're being chased by a hungry rancor.
How many have fallen already?
The weak, the doubtful, those who did not deserve the honor.
A month later, only 60 recruits remained. Their eyes had lost all trace of humanity, replaced by a steely determination.
It is time for you to see your destiny.
The hangar doors opened. Several droids stepped forward wearing the legendary crimson armor.
Inspired by the Sun Guard, but enhanced, like you, they are masterpieces of engineering and lethality.
They're beautiful.
And deadly, as you must be.
Last round of the day. I want to see blood.
The recruits now moved with the deadly grace of predators. The force pikes had become extensions of their bodies.
For the glory of the Republic.
Yes, for the Republic, and for the power that is to come.
As the pikes clashed once more beneath the purple sky of Yinkor, Palpatine watched in delight. His personal guard was not only taking shape, it was becoming the perfect weapon, one that would soon serve not the Republic, but the Empire that would be born from its ashes. Final chapter, the birth of the Crimson Terror. In the 19th year, before the Battle of Yavin, the halls of the newly proclaimed Galactic Empire hummed with a new energy. The clang of boots echoed through the halls of the Senate, where 8 scarlet figures advanced in diamond formation, their capes billowing in unison as they flanked Emperor Palpatine.
The rumors of his training at Yinkor appear to be an understatement.
You mean the survival tests?
Only 1,000 candidates survives the selection process, and they say that's just the beginning.
The guards turned a corner in unison, their force spikes humming with pent-up energy. Their movements, studied over years of brutal training, flowed like scarlet water.
I hear they make them fight each other to the death as a final test.
Lower your voice by all systems. The walls have ears since they've been here.
A group of senators hurriedly moved out of the way, hugging the walls.
Have you noticed that they never speak? Not a single word. Silence is part of the terror they provoke.
The Crimson figures executed a perfect rotation maneuver as they reached a corridor junction.
Ah, my faithful servants, your presence has its desired effect in these halls of power.
An Imperial officer attempted to approach with a datapad. 2 guards crossed their pikes with pinpoint precision, blocking his path.
Excuse me, these are urgent documents.
Urgency is relative, dear officer. My guards determine who may approach and who may not, and their judgment is final.
The officer stepped back, his face pale as the surface of Hoth.
Have you seen their new battle formations?
8 guardsmen can defend a position better than an entire battalion of clone troopers.
And they say there's nothing compared to their attack capability.
The guards escorted the Emperor to the throne room, their movements synchronized like precision machinery.
Fear, my loyal guards, is the pillar upon which any lasting empire is built.
A senator accidentally tripped on the hem of a scarlet cloak.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
The guard didn't even turn, but his force pike emitted a menacing hum.
Fascinating, isn't it? They don't need words to convey their intentions.
Is it true that they can predict the movements of their targets?
I've seen them train. Their ability to anticipate surpasses even that of the Jedi.
The doors to the throne room opened automatically. The guards took up a new formation, creating a living corridor of scarlet armor.
The galaxy needed a symbol of absolute power, and you, my silent executioners, are that symbol.
The guards spread out around the room in strategic positions, their armor reflecting the starlight filtering through the windows.
The power of an empire is not measured by the size of its fleet, but by the intensity of the fear it inspires. And you are fear personified.
The doors closed with a hydraulic hiss, shutting out the murmurs and looks of terror. In the halls, rumors of the Royal Guard would continue to grow, fueling the fear that would keep the galaxy under the Empire's iron grip for decades to come.